This episode is sponsored by the Using the Power of Your Voice eGuide, your guide to launching your podcast in 30 days. Slayers, are you feeling a call from God to start a podcast but uncertain about where to begin or what you'll need? Creating a podcast can be a fulfilling and enjoyable experience. Whether you're interested in sharing your expertise on a specific subject, conducting engaging interviews, or educating and entertaining your listeners, podcasting can help you establish strong connections and foster a sense of community. Using the Power of Your Voice is a guide to start your podcast in just 30 days, and it's perfect for anyone who is clear that God told them to start a podcast. Whether you're nervous about recording or unsure where to start, this guide will provide you with valuable insights and actionable steps to help you record and launch in 30 days. In this guide, you'll learn to identify your why, find your topic, learn where to host your podcast, and what equipment you need to start. If you are ready to be obedient to your calling and start your own podcast in just 30 days, download your copy of Using the Power of Your Voice today by going to www.slangselfdoubt.com/podcast. That's www.slangselfdoubt.com/podcast. Thank you for your support, and I can't wait for you to start using the power of your voice. You're listening to the Slaying Self-Doubt podcast with Coach Felicia, where we empower Black women to overcome their doubts, fears, and insecurities in order to give birth to their God-given purpose. Join me and sometimes some of my friends on our journey as we remind you that you are not alone. I'm Felicia Wallace, and together we will find our fears and slay them. Hey Slayers, welcome back to another episode of the Slaying Self-Doubt podcast. It's your girl, Coach Felicia. Y'all, it's cold. Okay, I'm just going to start out with the fact that this weather has been wild the last couple of days here in the DMV, and it's cold. It's like cold, cold. Grateful for the snow though. It's very pretty. It's still snowing here today. It's Friday as I'm recording this. But it's just been a wild, wild week. So it's so what's interesting is that like I want to say it's probably like end of December, something like that in between space between Christmas and New Year's. And talking to somebody at work, and they was like, I just can't get my brain together. Maybe in the new year. And I said, people don't come back to work mentally until after MLK Day. I was like, it's just something about it. You just know that you're going to have that third Monday off. And so, I said from Thanksgiving to Martin Luther King, like, we're not doing no work. And baby, I was not lying because Tuesday, it was a snow day. And I promise you, I felt like I was sitting at my desk like all day, like from the moment I opened my eyes until like literally like 8, 9 o'clock that night. And it just felt like that because I think with everybody coming back to work and people have all these things they want to do. Oh, can I talk to you really quickly? Like everybody's brain turned on the same day, right? But it just so I'm grateful for the snow day because I didn't have to have it be so crazy and also have to get, the getting the kids and going back and forth because I feel like that would have made it a little bit more difficult. But anyway, it's cold. I just want to start there, and we back. Okay, everybody back to work. But I want to welcome all the new Slayers joining our movement. No matter how you found us, whether it was by way of a solo episode, guest episode, YouTube, Instagram, or Threads. Hey y'all, hey. However you find me, thanks so much for joining us, and I really do appreciate you being a part of this illustrious movement. Okay. While you're listening, please make sure that y'all share with at least 10 people. We are trying to hit 100,000 downloads this year. I really do think that we can do it, y'all. So I really need y'all to help me get this done. And then head on over to YouTube and you can watch this live, and I want you to subscribe if you're already watching on YouTube. Hey y'all, hey, press that subscribe button because you seem to be back. So just go ahead, okay? So again, with this whole thing about people just coming back and just getting into routines, I feel like I was the same way. I think when I recorded the first episode, I was like, y'all, by the time we in here we're gonna be at 77,000 downloads. No, we still at 76. And that's okay, right? Because it's been that type of new year. And but I know that we are well on our way. So I'm still excited. We're like I'm less than 10 away from 77. So I'm still celebrating 77 because it's going to happen before the end of this month for sure. It is hoodie season. And y'all know it's cold over here in the DMV. Grab your, we just out here trusting God hoodies. We have, red, these wintry colors, red, black, winter green. I'm going to try to, army green. I think that's what it is. I think I'm going to get order one of those for me next. And then I want y'all to join the Slayer Society Facebook group. I am actually working on possibly transitioning this in the next over the next 6 months onto a different platform. However, in the meantime, I would like for you to go over there because I want to take this conversation off the podcast because it's just me talking to me, right? And I know I've said this before, but one of my goals for this year is to really nurture that community. And I can't talk to myself, right? So I need you, if you are interested in digging deeper into some of these conversations, to come on over. You can click the link in the show notes. You can go right on over to the Facebook page, the Slayer Society Facebook group, and let's just have a conversation. I want that to be a safe space for us to be able to talk through some of the stuff that I bring up on here. Because a lot of times I'm talking on here and I don't want to hold you too long, right? So I'm like 30, 45 minutes trying to stay in this little arena, but there's sometimes where I have more to say, right? Even this week I posted something that we'll talk about a little bit on here, about being prepared, right? Let me tell y'all something. Something else I need to get. I have not invested in it because I felt like it really didn't matter as long as I didn't move. But now it's just starting to get on my nerves. I need a because of where my space is, where I record at. I need a green screen, right? So like if you're watching this on YouTube, and sorry if you're listening, but whenever I move my head, like my sign pops up. Now, thankfully, it's still saying Slay Self Doubt back there, but I think I'm just being anal about it, and I don't like it. So I just need to get in one of those little adjustable, the pop up green screens you put behind your chair. Anyway, what was I talking about? See, I think as I get older, y'all, I'm not claiming it, but there are times I get distracted very easily, and I just be forgetful. Um, Oh, but anyway, I want you to join the group because I want to be able to have, like I said, have these conversations and for you to be able to talk to me. Like, there's some people who comment on the page, comment on, anything with the things that I post in, like on social media or whatever have you. But sometimes I think people feel because I would too, depending on what the post is and whatever it is. Sometimes I don't feel like sharing everything I want to share. It may just be instead of me really agreeing with you because that's some accountability on my part or some vulnerability, whether rather on my part, like I may not want to, and I'm saying me because I do it when I see other stuff that I really like girl, yes, right, but I may just hurt you, right? And because and it's in an agreement, but what I want to be able to share, I may not want, you know, thousands of people to be able to read. And so I think having a safe space to be able to have a conversation, is helpful. So if it's something you are interested in and something you want to hear more about, on top of the fact that I will, with that being said, I'm going to start going live in the Facebook group based off of whatever the episode is, right? And so right now we're going to say every other week because of how the solo episode. So for instance, this episode comes out on Sunday and the following Friday I'm going to go live in the group and we're going to talk about what we're talking about today. And it'll be really quick, again, maybe like 15-20 minutes, depends on people who interact, but I'm gonna be there. So if you get in a group and you there, you gonna see it. Okay. So you probably saw the title of this and was like, I've heard this. So I actually heard this in a movie recently. It was like, I've heard this quote before in different things. And so I had to look it up to see like it was an actual quote or just being movies. But it said it's quoted by Robert Frost. And so I just want to make sure I give him his just due. But it was we were watching something on Apple TV, I think it was Monarch, and the girl says the only way out is through. And in that moment I just was like, man, that's so true. They were like trapped in a cave though, right? Like it was like legit, like, girl, we gotta go through this if you want to get out. Otherwise we're gonna die right here. And so it made me think about I wanted to talk deeper into it on a podcast, but also the thought that I brought up on this week about being prepared is also kind of a part of it, right? So I'm gonna go backwards and then go forwards, right? So I shared that on if you follow me on Instagram, I shared a reel and in a story that I posted in Threads. If you don't know, it's like the written version of Instagram. I like it over there, first of all. So asterisk, I like it over there. It's very calm and the people are nice and it's not ratchet. I don't know if it's the people I follow, but it's like grown-ups over there, y'all. I don't It's the only thing I can think to call it. Like, it's grown-ups in threes. Like, it makes you feel sophisticated to be over there. Like, people over there about their business, right? And they not for no foolishness. And I like it. So don't come and mess it up. That's all I'm gonna say about that. You know who you are, whoever you are. Don't come and mess it up, okay? But I feel like that is like, okay, man. You be like, oh, this is nice. You walking into a place, so that's how I'm feeling about Threads. So anyway, I posted one day on Threads that about interviews. Y'all know we do the journey behind the business series, and so I took a opportunity to slay myself out and post in the group that I was looking for guests, right? I was very specific about who it was I was looking for, what it is that we were going to talk about. And I was clear about, hey, it's audio and video, 45 to 60 minutes. Make sure however you show up is going to be authentically you. And if you are interested, click this button. Now, prior to me hitting post or whatever the thing is send whatever, I was debating like maybe I should just put my email address in there and have people email me. And I went through this whole thing in my mind like really quickly. It was just like, if I have to do that, then there's a whole lot of back and forth and I don't want to go through all of that. So I was just like, forget it. I'm just going to put the link in there for you to just schedule your appointment, right? And so I prayed about it because I'm always like, Lord, anybody who sends me something or before I even start pitching people, this is just in general. And this is a side note to any entrepreneur. If you are connecting with other people, if you are a believer, I encourage you to pray before you pitch. Okay. Because you want to make sure that you want to remove yourself from it, right? There have been plenty of times over the last 4.5 years that I have pitched out of my flesh, meaning that I wanted this person on my show or I wanted to be connected to this person because of what they were doing. It was like, oh, they right now they hot. So if I can get connected with them, they'd be on my show and if, blah, blah, blah. And it was not that it, still wouldn't have been a great episode, but for me, every time I went in with that intention of who I was trying to get connected to, it never worked out. They always had something else going on, or they didn't even reply to my emails. It didn't even matter, right? And so then that's not to say that that is the reason behind it, but for me, I felt like the genuineness behind it, instead of just saying I want to use my platform, like I knew when I was pitching, I knew what I was going to do, right? And so instead, before I even start looking for people, like I pay attention to people and I'll be like, oh, I see what they're doing, whatever. I think that I would want them on the show. I just kind of keep a running list, right? But before I even reach out, I literally be like, Lord, whoever it is you want me to talk to be on the show, to share whatever it is they're sharing, like because it ultimately my assignment to have you or have the person on here is connected to your assignment. And so I want to be very intentional about who I have connected to me and to make sure that ultimately whatever God's purpose is in my life and their life is still is being done, right? And so maybe that means there's some no name people. Maybe it means it's some named people. I don't know. But I had to remove myself from it and really be intentional about like, is this person supposed to be on this show, right? So doing it this way, was I couldn't do that, right? Because I mean, I ain't picking. I'm literally just putting it in this open space and being like, there it is, right? And so I sent it, and I promise you, I prayed before I did it, and I said, Lord, whoever's supposed to be on this show, send them my way, right? And every person that was able to make an appointment while the schedule was open, is in alignment, right? In some way, form, or fashion. And for me, at first I was telling my husband, I was just like, I was kind of nervous about it because I didn't know. And then I had to take a pause and I said, well, Bun, you have created a brand around like people. If you like, you can go to Slaying Self Doubt and you can go to my page, you can go to my website, and off the break who I am, what I'm about, my energy, what the people it is that I'm talking to. You may have never listened to an episode, but if you kind of scroll through my page, or maybe if you watch a reel or something like that, you'll get the gist of who I am, right? And so I think that being authentically me is also helped me and my brand. I don't know what the word is, but the work that I did behind the scenes to lead up to that space put me in a place that if you went to go check, you would be like, okay, like maybe and not to say that I'm righteous and ratchet, right? Okay. There's some people may be like, oh, I might be a little over the top. I have people that be like, can I cuss? Can I do? And at the end of the day, child, it don't make me no never mind. Like I'm not that wretched, right? But I think it's the respect, right? Like I think because of how I have presented myself, people are clear about who I am. And so I was proud of myself that I have been authentically me all the way up until that point, and continuously going to always be me. That the people who probably looked at that and maybe thought like, oh, this is an opportunity for me to get on. And I'm not saying everybody like that, but it's always one, right? It's like, oh, I can go do this. Something could have been in there was like, this may not be the way, this may not be the podcast for me. Like I probably shouldn't like this may not be the space, right? And there may have been other people like, I've been looking for this space. I've been looking for this. And so really quickly, my encouragement to you is that create the space and the lane. Prepare the place for the people. What I think I said this last time. If you build it, they will come. Type situation. Like build whatever you're created to build. Do what you need to do. The people will show up. But if you have not built the thing that you need to build to be able to carry them, it makes me think about Noah, right? Like God told Noah to build this the ark, right? And this Bama spent years building something and it wasn't no rain. Like, I can imagine. I can't even imagine building a big old boat and like it's dry. Like it's just no reason, right? Like why until it rains, right? And then when it happens, and then I have to be on the boat for forever. But he was prepared. He prepared him, right? And so a lot of times in being prepared, like we want it. This is why I say that the connection of the only way out is through. A lot of times we just want out. We just want, let's get to the end of this, right, real quick. But there's steps along the way, right? And so if you're not prepared for what you're praying for, if you're not prepared for what it is that you're asking for, or you're wishing for, or manifesting, however you want to say it, when it comes, you're gonna miss it. When it comes, you may drown. When it comes, you may not be able to handle it, right? And so, using this example, like once I did it, and like within less than 24 hours, every single slot was taken, was done, right? In that moment, I was like, dang, like that happened, right? And then I felt some nervousness, but then I also was like, "But girl, you already done this, right? You've interviewed over 100 plus women thus far, so it's not that. It's not that. Like it's not about." whether or not you can do it, because I have proof that I can do it. I am happy that I had the systems in place, right? Because when you have to schedule the appointment, you need to be able to have your website, your social media links, your bio. You need to have headshots. You cannot make an appointment if you do not have those things. You know why? Because in the beginning, when I was like going through all the stuff, I'm gonna email you, then email you back, and then, oh, can you send me this, and then can you send me that, and then can you send me this, and then can you say, child, I would forget, you would forget. I'm running down people and being like, this is not going to work. And so I saw something that somebody else did that I got in. They invited me to their podcast, and I saw this whole system, and I was like, "And I borrowed it," and she was like, "Girl, yeah." And so I was just like, "This makes things so much easier. Like, I don't have to chase you down for your stuff, but also because I'm ready and I need my stuff, so you can go about your business and I can go about mine until the episode airs. You got to have your stuff." And so I said in the reel this week that there's a lot of people who missed it, who missed the opportunity because they weren't ready. They clicked the link and was like, dang, I need to have all this stuff. Either they didn't have it wasn't readily accessible to them. So for some people, they keep everything on their computer, on their actual hard drive. Put it on a Google Drive, y'all. Google's everywhere. It's on all the phones. You can get in Google Drive, and if you are an entrepreneur who is looking for, you need to create a media kit. It needs to have your bio, whatever photos you want to use, and whatever links you need. And I'm talking about the HTTPS whatever that is at the top. Like, you need the URL, right? Because a lot of people, when you're doing stuff, they want that. They don't want just your at sign and that. They want your whole your, because it makes it easier for them, because we're using them as hyperlinks. I do not want to have to go back and forth to figure it out. I want to copy and paste so I can move on with what it is I need to do, right? But if I don't ask for the things that I want, you don't know what I need. But also, if I'm not prepared to give you what it is that I'm asking for, like I said, it went both ways. I was asking people for stuff. Did I have the system in place to be able to receive what I was asking for? The answer was yes, right? I had the space, I had the calendar, it was open, the dates were there, all of that stuff. With the people who were trying to make the appointment, did you have, now you have an opportunity, did you have what you needed? Some people yes, some people no. And some people, you just missed it because I'm gonna come back, right? And so my encouragement to you about being prepared this year is stay ready so you don't have to get ready. There we and this goes in every single thing that we're talking about, in business, in life, in relationships. Like, sometimes you just have to have the things that you need readily accessible to you, so that if the going get tough, you could get the going, right? Like, you just need to be able to have those things. And so I just wanted to start this episode out with it, just kind of, you know, having a conversation about that, because I've been in situations where I wasn't prepared for stuff. Like, I just didn't know. And I think also, as a believer in our faith, like, we are out here praying to God for certain things, and we're not prepared to, and he knows better than to give us what we can't handle, because then it makes him look crazy, right? And so why would I give you something that you ain't ready for, right? I've shared this multiple times that I know that this is speaking is in me, outside of just this and outside of just being in my living room. I know that there are places I'm supposed to be, stages I'm supposed to be standing on. But for real, child, if I stand up too long cooking in the kitchen, my legs swell, right? And so if I'm not physically prepared for the blessings I'm asking for, he may give me some, but he ain't gonna give it all to me, because then if something happens to me, the vision dies with him. The purpose dies with me, right? Because I can't handle it, because I'm not healthy, because I'm not taking care of myself. And I keep playing around with it like, oh, I'm gonna do this and then. No, sometimes you gotta build your stamina. Sometimes you gotta be able to, there's certain things that you have to know, and only you know that. Like, I'm sharing to you what I know for a fact is a thing that is holding me back, and it's my health. It's not my weight, right? Although I could stand to lose some, but it's my health, right? The stamina, the energy to be able to, listen. I'm speaking and praying for, like, global, okay, global speaking engagements. baby, where you going when you got circulation issues? Like, I don't want to have, like, I want to be my healthiest to be able to do the thing. And I'm not saying that you cannot be, I'm not saying God's not going to give you your things even if you're not prepared. No, he's still, because he's still blessing me. He's still in the blessing business. He's still doing things. But there's things that I am asking for that I'm like, well, what is happening? And some of it starts with me. Some of it starts with the through, right? And so getting to this part of this quote that says the only way out is through. There's some things that we're gonna have to go through to get to the other side. We are so quick to just pray to God, manifest, journal, wish, whatever you want to call it, that we like, okay, let it be over. If you are in a tough season of your life, we just want the end of it, right? Sometimes you just need to go through. I think about it for a couple of weeks ago. I told y'all I was sick. I had COVID, and before, years ago, when I would be sick with anything, I would, oh my gosh, I just need to hurry up and get this over because I got all this other stuff to do, right? And I told you lately, I've gotten, last couple of years, I've gotten to the space that if I'm sick, I just let myself be sick. Like, I let myself go through it, because sometimes going through it, you have revelations about other things. Because when you are not fighting the thing that's happening to you, you're able to pay attention to what is actually happening to you. You know what I'm saying? Because when you are fighting to get out, you don't realize the blessings that are happening. The um you don't realize the things that are necessary in that moment, because you are so focused on the end. And I think that we got to do better than that. We have to take the time to be okay with going through. And I know, y'all. Sometimes going through means being still. And I know we don't like being quiet and by ourselves and self-reflecting and all of that stuff. I get it. However, it is necessary. It is necessary for us to do these things, because if you miss out on all of those things, I guarantee, if you try to fight your way out, not through, but fight your way out without being present in the throughness, you will find yourself right back in the same spot. I'm being very honest with you. So we're gonna take another part of my life. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me, right? Financially, right? For a very, very long time, I was like financially like, what? And it was just because I wanted to do what I want to do. Like at this point, I could probably say like I wasn't paying attention to my future. I didn't really. One plus one was not, the math was not math thing, and I was okay with it. Like as long as I made it to the next payday, I was fine. I live my life like that over and over again. Like, oh, most of my 20s, right? Until I got pregnant with my oldest son. And it was kind of like, girl, you about to be somebody's mother, right? Like you about to be somebody's mother. Like you gonna keep doing this. Like and granted, there's situations that happen, right? There are situations that sometimes are outside of your control. Whatever. Everybody's case is different, right? Like sometimes there's things that you have no control over, and so that may make you have to fall back or whatever have you. But I remember during that time is probably when it really switched to me, because for me, because I didn't pay attention to it, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like I was making it, I was fine, I was okay, I was still able to do what I wanted to do. Okay, yeah, my car got repossessed a couple of times, but I was able to get it out. All these different things, right? But when it hit me that it was like, and then really, I've shared this before. My mother was like, "Girl, if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of the kid, right?" And then when I got pregnant, it hit me like I have a whole person to take care of. Like I can't be out here lunching like the way that I was lunching, right? And even though it took me years to be able to get to a place, I went through it. So through meant I had to find the books. I had to start reading and listening to things about financial uh financial development, right? Personal, but yeah, financial development. And asking questions of other people, taking the time to actually pull my credit score and go through that, baby. Like looking at that joint, like, child, you had a Discover card, a MasterCard, a Capital One, because they was passing them joints out when I was 18. Like, oh, okay, thank you. You know, but having to really take the pause to say, yeah, I don't want to live like this. Like, but I had to stop and look at it, right? So, I've shared before that my husband was a very integral part in my financial development, but that did not stop me from still having my like, just because I had the habit of it, then once things got better and I was like, okay, I'm in a better financial place and I've been doing well and this, that, and the third, I still was like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to look at it. Just we good. You got us. Okay, boo. That's it, right? But again, we find ourselves in these situations where you're getting older, you're having adult, different type of conversations, that we have different goals that, at 27, that at 43 is just completely different. My life is changing. Our kids are older, all of these different things. And I told my therapist that this week, very proud moment, I created my first budget. Like that was a big deal to me, right? And it was a big deal because I was literally afraid of what it was going to say, right? And some of that had to do with the fact that I've been, we've been living on one income for the last 4.5 years. And the fact that, it's like, oh man, like what I thought was going to happen didn't, it was, thought was going to happen didn't happen. And there was a lot of insecurity and self-doubt that was attached to it. But I had to recognize that the only way out of my mental block was through, and I needed to just see. Now, some of that meant that, okay, now that I see it, maybe some changes got to happen. Maybe we need to figure something else out. Maybe I need to do something different. Maybe I need to get a job. Like there's different things that have to happen. But if you're not going through it the way you need to, because it's easy for in that situation for me to be like, my husband got it. As long as he tells me what's going on and what's happening, I'm okay. But the reality is that for me, I really needed to see it. I needed to see, even though he was saying stuff. Okay, yeah, you're right. But until I saw it was the moment that it was just like, oh, okay. I see the difference. I see the benefit. I see the loss. I see the changes. I see whatever it is. I see what I need with the preparation that we did take, the preparation that we need to take. Like I see what things are different. You know what I'm saying? And so that was my way through, right? And so through is continuous. Just because I started it don't mean it's ended, right? So even today I was like, oh dang, I haven't gone through the budget to see where it is and where we've been and what we've been doing. I need to go back to it. So when I finish recording, that's what I want to do. And at the end of the day, like sometimes stuff is just so scary. Like it's so scary to go through because you don't know what you're gonna find. It's scary to go through because you don't know what's gonna jump out at you. Like I was saying in the video, I mean on the show or whatever have you. Like I said, they was in some type of cave. I want to say the girl was having a panic attack. Oh, it's because it's a monarch and she had a past experience of um Godzilla. Because they were in this tight space, she was having like flashbacks of the G-Day or when Godzilla appeared or whatever have you. So in that tight space, she was having these flashbacks that, that she was back in that, you know, in G-Day. And so the girl was like, we gotta get out of here. Like we cannot stay here. Like this is not safe. And that's when she was like, the only way out is through. And it was like, you can do this. And even in her state, even in her with the wheels turning, the movie she's playing in her head, because what she was thinking about wasn't real, wasn't happening where they were at. They just happened to be in an enclosed space or whatever have you. Like she had to get out. And then once she got out, she felt better. But I understand the scariness of it because we're replaying stuff in our heads, right? We're replaying that the worst thing, and that's the thing. She replayed the worst part of that day. Now the day was bad altogether, but we replay the worst part of a situation. That's the part that sticks with us, not the fact that we got it through it. Because even as I shared the story with my finances or whatever, of course, like the negative stuff is going to continue to run through my head, like, oh my gosh, all them times of this, and I was late for this, and this got repossessed, and I had all these bills, and I couldn't pay for this, and could, yeah, but that ain't the whole story, right? And so my encouragement to you is don't focus on the negative, right? I want you to remember what you had to go through to get out, right? That's the part of your track record. But remember that you got out. And even if you find yourself in a different place or the same place again, what did you need to go through to get out? And so that's going to be the question that we're going to talk about on Friday in the Facebook group. So make sure you are connected to the Slayer Society Facebook group, because we're going to go live in there on Friday to ask the question, what do you need to go through to get out? I really want to just give you the space and the opportunity to share. Like, it don't have to be big or deep. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, for me right now, to get out of this health cycle that I've had going on forever, what I need to go through is like a revamping of my what it means to be healthy, right? What does it look like to me? What do I really want? Is it about losing weight, or is it about food? Is it about, like, what is it that what does it look like to me, right? And so yeah, I hope you're able to join me. We're gonna do it at noon, middle of the day, like a little lunch hour. And like I said, it's not gonna be very long. So if you can tune in for maybe like 15, 20 minutes, I'll be out of your hair. As always, thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Again, if you enjoy this podcast and you find it valuable, please consider making me a donation by buying me a coffee. Your support of a small donation of $5 to $10 can help me create new content, grow our audience, and purchase new equipment for live recordings and the content studio, y'all. Hey. It is still Jesus in therapy all day, every day. So take charge of your mental health and get 10% off your first month of therapy at betterhelp.com/slang, SLAYING. That is betterhelp.com/slang, SLAYING. Make sure you're subscribed to the Slayer Nation newsletter. That's how you get connected to all the things. Please share this episode with at least 10 people. We are going to hit 100,000 downloads this year, and I need your help. Follow me on Instagram and Threads or wherever social media is at Slang Self Doubt. Until next week, keep slang, sis. See ya. All right, y'all, that's all for this week. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to share, subscribe, rate, and review. Remember to head over to Facebook and Instagram and follow me at Slaying Self Doubt. Oh, wait, don't forget, go to my YouTube channel and watch this episode, and remember to press the subscribe button. Until next week, see ya.